rivals from their community, they all dealing with the same things. All these guys are dealing with the same things. And when you look at the schools and the things that have been taking place around in the school areas, it's a triangle in the different situations that's going on in this area. So these two schools, catch them in this school, sitting right in that triangle. So anything can happen at any moment because it's a red zone for all four of these communities that's surrounding this area right here that I'm speaking of, right? So when you look at, so I'm from the Peace of Harrisburg. I was one of the soldiers that was on the ground, worked my way all the way up to chief operating officer. So I know a little bit about what works and what don't work. And I understood that we had contracts in 5 different schools that was having these same issues. And in those schools, each one of them was allocated $360,000 in each school. And in that school, we had safe passages, right? In the morning, we worked with them in the evening. We got to know the parents. We worked with the PTA and things of that nature. So we had volunteers and we had 80 people on deck to do this work. Right now, our city is not doing that. So we have to ask ourselves that question. Is it because of gentrification? Or I don't know, we have to put our heads together because if you got a $14 billion budget within 4 years, you might have a $60 billion budget that you're managing and you only putting $2 million to violence. So this is what we up against. So we have to come together, wrap our arms around it, and we have to fight for real resources so we can have real boots on the ground. Right now, what we doing with our Southeast, Perry tell you, we sit in these meetings, it be 8 of us at the table, breaking our brains trying to figure out how we gonna stop violence in communities from abroad, 6 different communities and the surrounding areas. And we have to respond to every single shooting 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and do a triage. The next day, we have to sit around and meet on those. So I'm saying it's a lot of work that needs to be done. We need more people, we need more volunteers, and we need more resources. And as a community, we have to come together and fight for that if we want to see a change in that.
Quick follow-up for you. You mentioned where Ketchum and where DC Prep is, it's in a red zone, it's a triangle, right? Almost like a triangle of death when you think about it. Here's my question. How many interrupters do we have in this area?
2.
And are they in that triangle or are they in and out of the triangle? Like how do they go?
They're in 2 neighborhoods, but they work in the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
One on Green Street, one on Cedar Gardens, but it's other neighborhoods too.
Yeah.
That's maybe at odds and it's different. It's a triangle all around. 4 different neighborhoods in this community, all the way starting from probably Pennsylvania Avenue up to here. So what happens is you have a violence interruption on Green Street, where it's that with these guys, we got them on board, they on deck, they ready, you know what I mean? But then we have another neighborhood, we got 1 person working in the entire neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? So he's working with targeted people that we trying to come together. But even when we get a truce, and God willing, we working towards that, and they already willing to do this. So once we do get a truce, that's still only 2 areas. You still have 3 to 4 areas, and they at odds with each other. So, we just need more boots on the ground and more resources.
What about the Cure Violence people?
They don't work in this area.
Are there specific ways we can support the work that you're doing?
It's a great follow-up, and I was going to say thank you for that, Hannah, because we have Councilmember White here from Ward 8. We have representation from Councilmember Robert White's office, representation from Councilmember Grosso's office. Am I missing any other councilmember representation? So we have 2 at large and 1 ward-wide council member. This is where the appropriation happens, right? So like you said, 2 million is not enough. Okay. Tell us, do you have a number in mind, or what do you envision? How can we serve this triangle you just talked about and make sure we have coverage throughout the ward as well?
One of the things is through volunteering. We need some people to volunteer also. Like when you look at the safe passages in the schools that we have around here, we can be here in the mornings and the evenings and we have volunteers. You can't, only way to have a staff and hold them accountable for something like that, we have to have the resources to give those people a job. So it takes about $240,000 per neighborhood, right? We're talking about 38 neighborhoods just in Ward 8. So altogether, citywide, she would have to invest like $33 million, right, in order to see the change that we're looking for. And that's not a big number when you're talking about $14 billion.
Tell us how to sign up.
And also, and just to shout out the council member, we wouldn't have had a quarter here if he wouldn't have fought last year to get the $750,000, then he fought to get some water there, And then wound up, that didn't just go to Ward 8.
That's
Let me
right.
just say that.
And can I thank you for that, brother? I appreciate that, Wally. And can we give him a round of applause? We got to move to the next speaker.